I'm Chris. I'm from Gladstone. I work in my own clinic, which I've developed over the last 12 months, Chris Remedial Massage. I work in Tatham Sands, a nice little beach community. I like treating a variety of clients. I see a lot of sports people. I see a lot of aged. For some reason, I call it the CWA group, Country Women's Association group. I see a lot of pregnancy. I work a lot. I work alongside CrossFit Tatham. I work alongside Lift Functional Fitness. I started interacting with the Bullet Swim crew. I'm introducing myself and interacting with CC Fitness Addicts and Powerhouse. So a lot of my clients are CrossFitters. So working with CrossFit, if you understand the complexity of it, is high intense movements, not necessarily safe movements, but high intense. Probably one of the hardest sports out there. And they come in with a multiple of issues, from DOMs, which they always have DOMs, but also shoulder issues, repetitive strain issues, also just extreme stress on the body.
How do the hot stones fit in with this particular client group, the CrossFitters? Do you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I warm up the tissue. Always warm up the tissue with the hot stones. It's much easier to warm up tissue with hot stones than with my hands, because it takes forever with your hands to warm up the tissue. While hot stones, it's a matter of placing the stones on there and then dealing with it. If the pain is really extreme, I find hot stones works better than your hands. And the tissue gets faster and quicker, softer. It also gives them an indicator on where to put the heat. I'm going, okay, this is where I'm feeling the tension. This is where I'm putting the stone. This is where you've got to focus on putting the weight back. So you're kind of educating the client to figure out where their pain is, which is a big benefit of hot stones. DOMs, it's amazing with DOMs. I don't even touch them. I just use hot stones, because there was this whole theory out here, oh, you need cold over heat. But I'm finding heat is actually working better than cold in helping the muscles relax, helping them to heal, and they're recovering faster. Pre-sporting massage, I tend to use the hot stones to warm them up, to fasten the tissue up. Then I use my hands. Okay, so I'm using a combination. I believe in multi-modality approach, because I also use hot stones, dry needles, cupping, and taping at times. And they all interact really well with each other. All right. The hot stones warms the tissue up. The cupping frees the fascial level. My deep tissue gets a little bit deeper, and we can find more trigger points, and we can add hot stones to those trigger points. And then the taping, the amazing thing about kinesiology taping, it still lifts the skin, bringing the blood flow and the heat through that area. So they get long-term benefits from it. I'm finding that a lot of clients get fixed really quickly with this approach, because then I don't have to, then I'm on maintenance. Let's keep your body moving. Let's work on other parts of your body to keep it moving. And with CrossFit, you have to have a strong core and you have to have strong glutes to function properly in that sport. So even dry needling, without hot stones, you can't soften that tissue enough to get that dry needle in to go at a deeper level. Does that make sense?
I love how you're integrating all of your skills together. That's exactly what I do in everything I do. Every time we step into the treatment room, we bring all of our knowledge at once. We can't say, I am not a fan of people who go, you're here for this, so this is what you get. They're here to see you. They get all of your expertise and experience. Yeah.
Even sometimes I use the cold stones with MLD. Like, we know it's an inflammation point, but we're not MRI machines. We don't know if it's lymphedema or if it's just swelling. So you get the ice stones, you ice up the area, you do MLD, and then they walk out with skinnier legs, you know. And that's the whole point. That's what they come in to see us with. They want to see results. And but the hot stones.
I bet your pregnant ladies love those cold stones on their ankles and wrists.
Oh yeah, I love it. They also like a bit of hot stones, so don't say that, but I do a little bit of hot stones.
Just locals, right?
Yeah.
For those people. If they, and again, it's like it's case by case, every person's case by case, isn't it? And I know that you work like that because you do such a comprehensive consultation at the start.
I find with pregnancy, there's a lot of misinformation going around. A lot of misinformation. Pregnant women are not that vulnerable. They're still people. They're just pregnant. All right. Yeah, you've got to be careful at certain elements. You can't overheat them because, it's dangerous. But using localized hot stones actually relaxes them. And what is the biggest point? They're stressed. They're stressed. And their sore point is a natural part of what pregnancy takes you through, So I use a little bit of hot stones. I use a little bit of deep tissue. I use some dry needles. People are going, oh, don't dry needle pregnant women. The evidence doesn't actually say that. The evidence says dry needling is okay, and it works really well on lower back and hip pain. So there's a lot of misinformation. Don't massage pregnant women in the first trimester.
It's a common misconception, isn't it? And it depends on the practitioner's training and what they're comfortable with. I remember back in the day going to a workshop and there was a pregnant therapist on the workshop and she told everyone, don't touch my ankles. And we were all like, huh, what? Because her belief was that would somehow induce her labor. And she wasn't anywhere near wanting to induce labor. So it's education, isn't it? And critical thinking is the other skill.
Oh, I remember having this client a month or two ago who was taught never to extend their head back into the air. And I'm going, why? And she goes, oh, because that hurts necks. I'm going, but you need to. You need to have that movement to be able to function properly. You've got to look up. That's what people do. We look up to the sky and to the stars. But people are fed a lot of misinformation. Pregnancy too. Oh, you can bring on labour. No, I can't. When the baby wants to come, it will come. It's not my choice. With older clients, I
Mm.
predominantly use hot stones. I do not really touch them with the other modalities, because their skin is very brittle. But also, we're really just dealing with chronic pain from aging. And for hot stones actually helps them more than if I was to brutalize them with my hands. And I find you're actually making them feel better. They're getting like a nice warm sensation. We're getting deeper into the muscles without really torturing them.
Yeah, there's no muscling in, is there? Really?
No. So that's probably the only age group where I don't even touch them really. I just use hot stones. I don't even cup them because every other modality can hurt them. But hot stones don't. It just heals them. And most of the time, older people are lonely and they just want to chat with you while they're on the table. So that's also in itself healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than just massage, isn't it? What we do.
Basically therapist.
Yeah.
So hot stones I've really integrated into my treatment patterns. I actually like it. And it's probably one of the only modalities that every single client says, yeah, can you hot stone me?
Really?
Nothing else. Yeah. Everyone likes hot stones. And this climate here, it's like 31 degrees and they still want hot stones. And I love how I've integrated the cold stones into my practice as well. Like if someone comes in, oh, I've got bursitis in my shoulder. Oh, well, I can't treat that, but I can certainly show you how to use ice on that bursitis. And ice and rest is what's going to help the bursitis. I can massage all around it, free up all the muscles, but then I place ice on it. And I do the ice massage down the shoulder or through the hip. And they go, oh, that feels good. Why haven't I done that? Well, this is what you need to do to help yourself. And they still rebook. They rebook. And it's freezing cold ice stones, but they rebook.
And the beauty of having the ice stones is that they don't melt. You don't get that mess everywhere on your table and everything. Yeah, it's a little bit wet, but it's not a big soggy puddle on your massage table.
Also, it gets the cold in really well. And sometimes when my hands are sore, I grab them and go, oh, this feels good.
That's great.
Oh, I use it for myself.
And talking on that subject of hands, how, before you started using stones and things, were you prone to a bit of hand pain or wrist pain or anything, Chris?
I got a lot of lateral epicondylitis.
Okay, so
and that really hurt like shit. I do still get hand pain, but it's more fatigue because I'm always using them. Like last week I did 30 clients.
Wow.
That was a big week for me, and it's Christmas and everyone wants massages, and I'm not going to say no because you don't know which week is going to be big and which week is not going to be big. Even though I might only get 4 cancellations a week. Some weeks you get a little bit more. You can't stop people from being sick, you know. COVID around like hell here again. So, yeah, it has helped. I think my longevity in my career will be longer. Because at the beginning, all I was using was my hands. And
oh, sorry, Chris, can continue.
And you feel tired.
Yeah, I think my top tip really would be to just be aware of not gripping. Just use as little effort as you possibly can when you're holding the stones. And that has certainly helped me I've been very fortunate not to really have much issues with hand, wrist, elbow. Yeah, I was more of a low back pain person for different reasons, I think.
I think we all get lower back pain.
And how have your clients transitioned into the hot stones? I heard you saying that everyone likes them, but how did you introduce that to them?
I just said, would you like me to try hot stones on you?
Yeah.
And then I go into the information and educating them about it.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, is there any evidence? I said, well, there's a lot of evidence about heat. So what am I using? Heat. So, yeah, it was a very easy transition, really. But, you know, I tend to educate my clients a lot because I think that's a part of my job. Because, you know,
and what sort of feedback do you get from your clients? You know, you're saying that they all like it. What sort of things do they say to you?
Well, sometimes I just rather if I do use the hot stones and not my hands. I go very deep. Mainly they talk about how nice it feels. And so it's kind of a sucking method for your clients. Oh, I'm going to use hot stones. And they just, you can hear them, they moan with the hot stones. Oh, you know, oh, that feels good. Don't stop.
Yeah, they're like, oh. It's such an unusual thing, isn't it, when that happens and people just like, so good, I love it. And you're like, they really love it. Like,
yeah, they really love it.
They really love it.
I've even adapted some of my techniques for the glutes. You know, when we get to the piriformis, put the hot stone where the piriformis is, push it in deeply, and I move the leg. It's like, oh, yay. Not much effort.
They take the sting out of trigger points as well. All that sort of, that performance works, right, for QL work. Yeah, any of those nippier sort of muscles that people are going to go, ow!
Hamstring attachments as well, right underneath the glutes there. And you know,
issue.
Pardon? You've got that issue?
I put the ischial tuberosity.
Ischial tuberosity. Yeah. So I still use my hands because I still need to feel. That's part of my job. I tell people, when people ask me, what do you do for a job? I say, I fill people up. But, but you know, I'm a big believer of integration. You know, you come to me, you get the one service, which will use all my modalities to help you. You know, when we talk about clients with fibromyalgia, the hot stones are perfect for that. It's really perfect. They get a lot more benefit from hot stones, gentler massage. But, you know, I also integrate it with MLD. You know, let's lower the inflammation. Let's give you a session of MLD. And then we'll work on hot stones and integrating all of it to get a much longer term recovery. People with autoimmune diseases, you know, we know that going deep can cause bruising and irritation. Hot stones is perfect for that. Myofascial cupping is perfect for that. You know, sometimes when you've been doing it for 5 years, you don't understand or are aware of your own pressure. Your pressure can be quite deep because your hands are very strong at that point. So all these other modalities are a much gentler approach, getting the same benefit for people in chronic pain. MS, for example, heat works wonderful with them. You know, and you know, I use a lot of heat. I use a lot of hot stones in a lot of my treatments. It's constantly on. I think I might need to get a bigger heater because it's just too small. And
yeah, I did encounter that myself. I got a big heater well, my staff member came to me and said, Christine, can I get a bigger heater for my treatment space? And I was like, okay, no problem. I'm just going to keep my small one for now. And then we swapped treatment rooms one day. I had to just treat in her room for the day. And I was using this big heater. And I was like, yep, that really does work way better. And I went the end of the day and ordered myself one because I was like, no way. So then from that day on, we just, I do recommend the bigger heater for people. But yeah, no, it's great. And talking about heaters and setup and things like that, have you found that quite easy to do? Does it save? Because I always say the way that we train people, it saves them all that time on setting up and cleaning and all of that if they use it the way that I teach, basically. Have you found that to be true for you, Chris?
Originally, when I got stones and I was shown how to use stones, the lady who only uses stones, I later found out it wasn't hygienic enough. I've been using the kettle a lot to sterilize stones. I've been changing the water a lot more. Yeah, I find my job really monotonous. That's part of my job I really hate, is the cleaning. It's like always cleaning. I feel like a cleaner some days, and all the workplace health and safety stuff can drive me nuts. The cleaning checklists, like making sure that your hot stones is just integrated into that part. But, I use cups as well, which have to be washed every day. I do, so it...
health and safety around your needles and, all of that stuff as well,
It's just a part of it. Unfortunately, I wish someone else would take it over, but it's a part of it. Like notes. And at first, when I started using hot stones, it was really difficult to put it into my notes as well. Or should I put it into my notes? Yeah, of course. Hot stones.
Of course.
Focus on this area. And
that gotten easier as you've integrated things?
Oh yeah, it's gotten easier. I just give the hot stones, the stones and the cups a bath at the same time every day. Give them a good scrubbing, let them dry out every night, change the water in between clients, But I've also had to give myself a half an hour time between each client to get everything done. I think this back-to-back can be very difficult, and it's not ideal for us. I've worked in physiotherapy clinics where a half an hour back-to-back it's insane. You wouldn't have time to wash your stones. You wouldn't have time to do your paperwork. You wouldn't, So I started about a year ago giving myself a half an hour break between each client. And that gives me the time to wipe down the table, to restock the shelf, to take a deep breath in.
I was going to say, to look after yourself, to reset, to refresh, to be on the game for every single client that's coming in. Yeah. Because people don't want a burnt out therapist treating them.
And sometimes clients can be quite heavy. You just need that time to go outside, take a deep breath and go, okay, next client. New client, new set of skills.
Reset, a complete reset.
And plus it gives you that time also to ensure that every client is getting an hour of your time. That's what clients are looking for. They want the hour. They want you for an hour.
It's true.
And the thing is, if you don't have a break in between each client, how are you going to provide that whole hour?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So there's a couple of other questions I'd really love to ask just around the training. And I know that, you know, you're still going through and reviewing things and looking at things in the training. But so far, how have you found learning a practical skill online?
I watch the videos,
Hmm.
I think about it, and I put regardless, I put the training into action straight away. I find if you don't learn. And, you know, you practice straight away. The next client, once you learn that skill, you give it a go. Every single practitioner has a different way of doing things. That's just life. So the first time I copy you, and then I go, well, this worked for me, that didn't work for me, let's adapt it this way.
Yeah.
And eventually it works for you. Your way works for you, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't find it hard, but I just went out and practiced straight away.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not
Which is
afraid.
great.
You know, you learn from your mistakes. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's exactly what I want people to do when they're coming into the course, which is why we do the planning. You know, how are you going to fit this in? When are you going to watch your videos? When are you going to do your practicing? Are you going to bring this straight into your clinic? What are you going to do that works for you? Is really the way we plan this out. Yeah.
I just brought it straight into the clinic.
And that's absolutely fine. I'm a great supporter of people doing that, because if it's a barrier to you to actually get hands on stones on backs, then that skill is going to get shelved. You're not going to use it. So especially when I hear, yeah, I saw 30 people last week, that's a busy clinic. Yeah, that's a really busy. And I would hate to burden your body, time, and energy more by saying you've got to do free massage on X amount of people for X amount of weeks. That's not what I'm about. Yeah, I'm about working out a way that's going to be best for you. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're already a qualified, experienced practitioner. Yeah, it's not like you're fresh out of massage school, you've never put your hands on someone before. That's not the scenario. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's completely different from learning massage and practicing massage from the way we did it way back in our diplomas to now. You know, when you've got all of that experience and knowledge behind you.
My personal belief is if you don't put your skills into practice straight away, you forget. And because, for example, I did the MLD course with what's that lovely lady's name? She's great at MLD. Her whole life is MLD.
Is it Michelle Fasalo?
Michelle Fasalo.
Michelle Fasalo, yeah.
Yeah, interesting woman, but you know, her whole life surrounds MLD. Yeah. I learned from her course that you need to do it straight away.
Yeah.
You know, take the opportunity to examine, test, do it. And it's the same with your course. Do it straight away. You know, don't be hesitant.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're only human. But you learn from your mistakes and you learn quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be honest, 99
massage and a mistake with the hot stone is really quite small you know, if you've got your temperature set correctly and you're bringing the stones in a very nurturing way, it's very hard for a client to go, oh, that was a total train wreck of a treatment. It's very, very difficult.
Very difficult.
Because
Yeah,
they like how it feels.
Look,
They don't know. They don't know.
I think the most dangerous modality I have is dry needling, but once you know how to do that too, the risk is like this big.
Yeah, it's
Hot stone,
education. It's
risk
education.
by stones, hot stones is that.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's low risk. If you've got your setup right, very low risk, and you're asking the correct questions at consultation, very low risk. Yeah.
And also it's important to ask, is this stone too hot? Yeah, if it is, you pull it off.
Yeah, you adjust it.
Yeah, you adjust it.
Yeah, very much so. So you were able to learn a practical skill online. You were like, yes, tick, great. And would you recommend this training to any other therapists, Chris?
Yes, I would. Okay. I think you need to, I'm a big believer in understanding and knowing all modalities, having your head around all of them to create a real nurturing, holistic approach to your care. Hot stones, I think, is a real benefit because heat is perfect for some clients. Heat is probably the best healing mechanism for that client. I think hot stones is fantastic. I love it. I use it all the time. Easy on your hands, easy on your head. You don't have to think much. You just need to put a hot stone on the trigger point and they're okay. You know, it's great for older clients, really great for older clients. Clients in chronic pain, really great for them. You know, it's great for people who can't tolerate much pressure. You know, and you're still getting in deep with heat. You still get deep. And sometimes, and also if you do a lot of sports massage and you still want to use your hands, you don't have to go as deep after you put a whole heap of hot stones on them. Because the stones have done the job for you. 25% of your job is done. And you think, oh, okay, does this feel sore? Oh, no, it feels hot now and it feels good after the stone. Oh, the stone's done my job. You know? You know, and what client doesn't like a bit of heat put on them?
Well, none of mine. All of mine loved it. So
all of mine.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Anything that stood out to you about the training that you thought, yeah, that was something that was really beneficial for me, or anything that was a takeaway that you're like, yeah, that was gold, or anything like that, Chris?
Actually, surprisingly, the techniques were fantastic. I learned. I loved how you left it up to us to adapt our own techniques. I love that because I really hate when people go, oh, this is the only way you can do it. Not necessarily. It's not the only way. You're your own practitioner. I love that part. The beginning, the consultation things. It was, I really forgot. You know, it was many years ago since I did my diploma and I thought, am I actually doing that? And I completely adjusted my whole interview techniques to engage more. That was really beneficial. And it showed a lot in the client's rebooking rate, in the clients talking about me online, in how busy, and it's even changed some of the other practitioners, and I'm getting a lot more referrals from chiros. I'm actually, since I've changed that, people are only referring to me because I've changed how I listened. And I think we forget how to be good listeners. That's a big part of my job. I really enjoyed that part because it made me think, oh, what about the feedback? And I started sending feedback text messages. How did your massage go? You know, what ways can I improve? And most of the feedback is perfect. And some people are just weird. But most of the feedback is perfect. And,
Thank you
really
so much
helped.
for sharing that. That's like so beneficial for us to know in our teaching as well.
I think we forget to do that. I think we get so caught up in our own lives, we forget to listen to other people's lives. And I found that really beneficial.
Oh, that's awesome. I can hear the benefit that you've received from that. It's very cool. Love it.
I'm looking forward to holidays after treating like, I think it was 55 clients in 2 weeks. So I'm really looking forward to holidays.
Break. Well, you deserve it. And thank you so much for your time today and
no worries.
Sharing all of this information. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much.